Let me introduce you to Wade Jackson. He is from Salem. He's also a graduate of Sprague High School, so a total local guy. And we're talking today, Wade, because you have had a heck of a transformation story. You underwent a significant weight loss, and that's part of the story. But a lot of people in our audience have lost a lot of weight over the years. Your story is interesting because you may gain a lot of money because of all the weight you've lost. So I'll let you explain what's at stake for you here in the next few days.
Yeah, so I'm one of 4 male finalists in the Beachbody annual challenge contest, and I have an opportunity to win $100,000. There'll be one male winner and one female winner. So yeah, I'm in the final 4 men, and yeah, I'm just trying to get the word out and share my story and ask that everyone vote for me and for Kelly Cox, a friend of mine, as the female candidate.
Okay, so I did see the before and after pictures, and we would love to help you win that grand prize since you are the local contestant.
Awesome.
Your weight loss was absolutely significant. Your body transformation is pretty darn incredible, if you ask me. So talk about from day one to now, because I know you've sort of yo-yoed throughout most of your adult life. But as far as this specific challenge goes, where were you at the beginning and where are you now?
So what I consider, it was day one for me, which was, it was a Saturday, January 26th, 2019. And I was 312 pounds that morning on the scale. And I am now 188 pounds. And I actually eliminated the first 100 pounds in 9 months. It was,
wow.
Yeah, over 50 inches and 100 pounds in the first 9 months. And I wasn't, necessarily trying to do it as fast as possible, but I went all in and followed the, process and, followed the program's ultimate portion fix. It's Beachbody program's ultimate portion fix, and was drinking my, my daily Shakeology with my breakfast and doing the workouts. Didn't step foot in the gym one time throughout that entire experience. It's all at-home workouts. And yeah, it's been an incredible life-changing experience.
Talk about the challenge itself, this Beachbody challenge. How long did you have from, we talked about day one being last January 2019, and you were at 312 pounds then. So you had how many months to complete this challenge?
Well, it basically just had to be within that calendar year. I mean, when you enter the contest. And when I started, I didn't even know about the contest. It wasn't even, in fact, when I made the decision I was going to, my initial goal was to lose 100 pounds. And I didn't even know how I was going to do it. I just knew that I had to. And I just started going around telling my friends and family, I'm going to lose 100 pounds this year. And I think people were like, oh, great, rah, rah. But I don't think, anybody probably believed it. I mean, that's a pretty incredible thing to do. But I had to say it out loud and repeat that. And my wife had actually been doing Beachbody, I think for probably going on a couple of years at that point. And she had seen great success. And of course, she'd been on me trying to get me to do it with her. And for whatever reason, I wasn't ready to make that decision yet. And so when she came to me and said, why don't you do Beachbody with me? And I said, okay, well, I got to start somewhere. And honestly, in the back of my mind, I thought I would do that until I knew what I was really going to do. Because in my mind, it's like, oh, those are, great workouts for you to be doing, but it's
not going to work for me.
Right, exactly.
So what was the final inspiration though, or do you think finally got you to say, okay, I'm going to commit to this back in January of 2019?
Well, definitely one of the big, I guess, seeds that was planted in me was when my daughter told me that she was embarrassed when I came to her school. I think it was to have lunch with her. And I said, oh, why? I thought it was just because, her age and she was getting older and was just embarrassed of her dad coming to her school. And she said, well, kind of motioned towards my stomach. I had a stomach the size of a large beach ball. And she said, well, Dad, none of the other dads look like that. You're honestly just so fat. And that broke my heart because, that was a burden that I thought I was carrying, myself. I didn't think about the fact how I was impacting the people I love. and especially my kids. One of the most important things to me in life is to be the best father I can be. So that
Right.
really opened my eyes, and it crushed me. But yeah, it was, I had just celebrated my 42nd birthday, and a couple of days later I just finished, it was at home alone. I had just finished off leftover pizza from the night before, and I just was feeling miserable. And really, I think, frankly, I hit rock bottom, and I got down on my knees and I prayed to God to help me. And I was in tears, and I just said, I can't do this on my own, and I need your help. And I couldn't figure out why, you know, in my mind, he wasn't helping me with something with this, because I'd struggled with it for so long. And that next morning I woke up and I just had this, I can't even describe, I had just a fire inside of me. And I made up my mind I was going to do it.
I have a couple of questions now. I want to get back maybe to your daughter, but let me first ask you, since you brought it up, what is, for someone who may be overweight and who wants to lose the weight and has struggled like you did to get motivated to do so, what is the biggest hurdle, and how did you get over it, for you at least?
Biggest hurdle is for one is getting started and not quitting. You know, those first few weeks are the most difficult. And you know, there were times where I would say, forget this, you know, I'm just going to go back to the way I was in the heat of the moment, you know, when I'm frustrated with, you know, this or that. But for me, it was really in the past when I struggled with weight loss, you know, yo-yoing over the last 20 years. I didn't have a plan. You know, I knew how to work out, but that's only a very small part of the equation. I mean, it's like the whole 80-20 rule you hear about. It's 80% nutrition, but even then, like, I didn't know nutrition. I didn't know, you know, there's so many things out there, like you kind of get lost in the noise.
So how about that from a nutrition standpoint then? What have you learned about nutrition? And are there a couple of things now that you know that you didn't know then that actually are pretty easy to follow, that make a huge difference?
Absolutely. That was one of the things that I'll say with the Beachbody programs. The Ultimate Portion Fix, it's one of their nutrition plans. It's the one I chose to follow, and I still follow it to this day, and I'll follow the rest of my life. It's you know, whole foods, you eat real food. I don't avoid any food groups. And I eat 5 times a day. I eat every 2.5 to 3 hours, and I don't count calories. I just fill my little color coded containers when I'm putting my plate together or prepping my meals in advance, to make sure that I'm getting in the right portions. And I mean, the science is done for you, and that was a game changer. And one of the things I learned too is you got to have, you know, nutrition, fitness, and support. All 3 of those things. I think if you're missing any one of those things, it's just not going to be sustainable long term. I mean, and I've proven that for 20 years.
Well, do you think that you will have to continue to maintain this diligently from here on out in order to maintain sort of the fit body that you have now, say? Or do you feel like you've sort of reset yourself to a point where you can maybe slip a little bit here and there and you're going to be okay long term?
Oh, definitely. I can slip a little bit here and there and be okay long term, because now it's, you know, it's what's important is it has to be obviously a lifestyle. Most stuff, not a diet. If somebody, you know, comments about being on a diet, I'm like, I'm not on a diet. Throughout this entire time, I've not been on a diet. I eat more food than I probably ever have. And my metabolism is just racing. And I still go and, you know, we'll go and splurge and, you know, have pizza or drink a beer, a glass of wine. I just don't overindulge like I used to. But yeah, it's definitely about living a balanced life.
Asking about your daughter. Your daughter was right there at school saying that you are essentially embarrassing me by your appearance. And she was pointing out your belly specifically.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, you wanted to lose the weight for her. You knew it was the right thing for you health-wise, but there is also a lesson there to be learned about not judging people by their appearance, right? So did you struggle with that at all? And how did you address that at home?
Well, that's a very good point. You know, I will say, you hear a lot about people, and I can only speak for myself, but when I hear people say that, you know, being happy in your own skin, no matter what size you are, I wholeheartedly agree with that. But having been 312 pounds and having been what I am now, I mean, it doesn't like make you a different person on the inside necessarily, but I'm much happier now because I feel better. I mean, not even just the looks. I'm off. I was taking medication for blood sugar, blood pressure, cholesterol, acid. I had severe acid reflux, sleep apnea. I was using a CPAP machine. I don't use any of that anymore. I'm on no medications. It's about your internal health too, and the energy level that I have, and I just get I have a more fulfilling life. It's definitely not about appearance. That's all great too. But
well, that's great to hear, especially about all the medications that you were on and now don't need to be. And I was going to ask you that question since we've already started going down that road. Everyone loves the physical results and what appears to be a much more fit body. But talk about, like you said, the feel and how it makes you feel better now. In what ways? You started to go down that road. Tell me some more about how you feel better because of all that weight loss.
I just I have a hard time just like sitting down and being still. Like I just have this an incredible energy level and a feeling of like wanting to accomplish more. Frankly, it's something I don't remember feeling in my life. And I think it's because I'm fueling my body properly, giving it, whole healthy foods. Minimum processed foods. Again, it's not like you can't ever eat junk or anything because I will once in a while, but it's just balance. And I don't know how else to describe it.
Well, let me ask you this. Before the weight loss, did you drink alcohol? Did you drink a lot of alcohol? Were you a beer guy, wine guy, all the above? And has that completely been eliminated?
That's a great question. So I did drink alcohol before, and I still do now. I definitely don't drink as much, just because, I love the way I feel, and when I'm not drinking as much alcohol, not that I didn't really overindulge. I wouldn't say I overindulged before, but I definitely drink more than I do now. But now I usually keep it. If I like to have a glass of wine or two, or a beer or two. I don't drink in excess, just because, for one, it actually makes me not feel well. It gives me a stomach ache, and I enjoy that feeling that I get now of just feeling incredible all the time.
Right.
That when I do indulge, I'm like, gosh, that wasn't even worth it. I feel like crap, So
yeah. As someone who continues to drink beer now and again, especially on the weekends, I know that feeling you're talking about.
Yeah.
Seems fine on Friday night, Saturday morning. It's like, what the heck did I do that for?
Exactly. Yeah.
Is there any food, you're not dieting, you made that very clear, but is there a food that you did eat in the past that you have said, you know what, I'm done with that. I'm not eating that because I know that does me no good?
Yeah. So my favorite food is pizza. And
I was thinking about pizza when I asked that question.
Yeah. So I still eat pizza. Whereas before I'd order a large pizza. My wife would have a couple slices and then I'd finish it. So I don't eat like that. And I think a lot of that comes with, again, fueling my body properly throughout the day, eating, 5 to 6 meals a day, smaller meals, more easily digested. I don't let myself get to that point where I'm so hungry where I'm just, going to eat a large pizza. I still eat those things. I don't eat much, if any, fast food anymore, which I was doing a lot back then. I mean, there were days when, I would eat fast food for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Wow, okay.
I had a real problem with eating fast food.
I'm curious. You had a goal when you set out back in January of 2019 to lose 100 pounds. You made that goal happen. You mentioned earlier losing, I want to say now, up to 124 from 312 to 188.
Mm-hmm.
So now you have an opportunity to win that $100,000 through this Beachbody contest. You're so close. You're down to the final round. At this point, I have to believe that you're going to be disappointed if you don't get the 100K to go along with the 100-pound weight loss.
Of course I want to win, and that would be disappointing. I just have the attitude and mentality that I'm just going to, going all out, doing everything that I can and, in my power to win. But there's other deserving candidates. So whatever happens. And I believe, whatever happens is going to be God's will, and I'm going to embrace it. But hopefully that's me winning.
Never mind those other candidates. Let's talk about Wade. Wade, have you thought about, if you do win that $100,000, how you might spend some of it at least? I know that thought has crossed your mind.
It has, and I never looked forward to somebody asking me that question. Believe it or not, I think you're only the second person that's asked me. I'm kind
the kind of superficial guy that would ask that kind of question.
No, not at all. No, it's a valid question. I know it's a question everyone's wondering. I'm kind of a boring guy, so to speak, when it comes to, finances. I'm very frugal. But with any income, I always tithe the first 10%. So, $10,000 is going to go to my church, and then I'm going to pay taxes. And I'm sure I'll take my family on a trip. They've been talking Disneyland. We'll probably do something like that. And we support a handful of charitable organizations in our community. So we'll do something there. And beyond that, I'm probably going to save and invest. As boring as that probably sounds.
Sometimes if you start thinking about it very long, you can kind of see how quickly $100,000 can go. So,
exactly. Yeah.
Which is kind of scary. But I love the ideas there of taking the trip with the family, at least, because I'm sure they've been on this journey with you the whole time, and not every day was a fantastic day, right?
Absolutely. No, I without a doubt could not have done this without them. My wife and kids, they're my rock. That was a big part of what helped me start this journey. Is I just, I know I should have wanted to do it for myself first, but I kind of was living for my wife and kids and didn't really care, about myself. So, yeah.
Well, let's help you out. Let's help yourself. How can people go and vote for you right now? Can you talk about the details there on the vote? Because I know that the public vote has a 40% part in deciding the winner.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a large portion of the overall score. So yeah, please get out and vote. You can vote once per day, twice per day, but once for a male candidate and once for a female candidate through Monday, June 15th at noon. And so you go to beachbodychallenge.com /vote, I believe. There's also a link on social media on, you just have to, anyone can vote. You just have to have a Facebook account to vote. So there's a link on our Instagram page and on our Facebook page, but it's beachbodychallenge.com /vote. And it's so easy. It's just a couple of clicks. So I just ask
if I use different browsers and maybe different devices, I could probably vote for you more than one time a day. Am I right?
No, just once.
Darn it. I thought I had an opportunity to maybe get you over the top. I wanted to make sure to ask you this. We're going through this pandemic, right? And we just learned today that we're going to slow things down in terms of reopening throughout the state of Oregon. Does this put a damper on this new body of yours in any way, shape, or form? Because you can't really go out and show it off like you might have normally shown it off during a normal summer.
That's a good point. It hasn't affected me in terms of keeping it going, because like I said, that's definitely one of the huge benefits is I've done this without stepping foot into a gym. So as far as the gyms being closed, that didn't impact my health and fitness. I just continued on and continue working out every day and following my nutrition. So yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to when we can go out more and go to the beach or, go places like that. But, not doing it necessarily for the turning heads, but that's definitely makes you feel good.
You turned a head in our newsroom. I won't reveal the person's name necessarily. But a colleague of mine, it was like, whoa, I heard a whoa. I said, what? And then I walk over, I'll say it's she. I walked over to her computer and she's like, check out this guy. He's from Salem.
Oh, that's awesome.
What's the deal there? And then that's how the whole story came about and we started talking about it. But it was definitely like an eye-popping moment in regards to my colleague here at KHW.
Oh, that's awesome.
You turned a head here. There you go.
Thank you for sharing that. That helps, that definitely boosts my confidence.
Well, and then lastly, I just want to make sure we understand if 40% of the contest is based on the vote, people going online and voting for whoever they determine should be the winner. Again, we think it should be you, our local contestant. The other 60% of the contest is a panel of judges, and what are they judging you on?
Yeah, it's an internal panel, the Beachbody panel, and they judge. There's a percentage that's based on your before and after photos, the quality of those photos, and how inspirational your story is. And yeah, I think that's it.
I would say that as far as your before and after pictures go, you are most impressive on both ends.
Thank you.
You had an impressive belly for sure.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at the other pictures that you're running up against. I'm thinking, geez, Wade's belly was bigger than all their bellies.
I have to agree. I have to agree with you there.
So you had the best before belly. And now I'm looking at the afters going, quite frankly, Wade's got the most ripped body. You've had the best before belly and the most ripped after body. How don't you win at this point, I ask?
Thank you so much. That's awesome. I hope everyone else feels the same way, and we can take this home for Salem and Oregon.
All right. He's doing it for Oregon, ladies and gentlemen. He's Wade Jackson of Salem. He's a Sprague High School graduate. He's lost over 100 pounds, about 124 to be exact, from January of last year to where we stand right now. And now he has a chance to win $100,000 through this Beachbody competition. You can vote for him by going to the website. We talked about it earlier, beachbody.com for more information. Wade Jackson, Salem, Oregon. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Drew.